final session for today covers the deployment process using Docker, and it will be presented by Thushara Thiwanka, who is a third-year software engineering undergraduate at SLIIT and an associate software developer at Paisley. Over to you, Thushara.
Thank you, Nangi. Let me share my screen. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah. So hello everyone. I'm Thushara Thiwanka, third year software engineering undergraduate at SLIIT. Also a member of MS Club dev team. Today we will be learning what is Docker and how it can be used to deploy web applications. So far we discussed how to create a full stack web application using Vue.js and Express.js. Also in the cloud computing session, we talk about Docker. In this session, let's see how to deploy full stack application using Docker. So, yeah. These are the topics we hope to discuss today. Before continue, you need to familiar with some terms. So, what is Docker? Docker is a tool that makes it easier to create, deploy, and run application by using containers. Think of a Docker as a kind of virtual box that allows us to run our application and their dependencies in an isolated environment. This means that we can run the same application on different computers and be sure that it will work the same way every time. So what are the containers? Docker uses something called containers to accomplish this isolation. A container is like a tiny virtual machine that holds our application and its dependencies. Containers are much more lightweight and efficient than virtual machines, which make them perfect for running applications. With Docker, we can package our application into containers and then run those containers on any computer with Docker installed. So let us discuss what are the benefits of using Docker. There are many benefits to using Docker. For example, portability. Docker containers are portable, which means that developers can build an application once and run it on any platform that supports Docker. This saves time and effort in creating multiple versions of application for different platforms. Second one is scalability. Docker allows developers to easily scale their application up or down depending on demand. With Docker, developers can quickly spin up new containers to handle increased traffic and spin down containers when traffic decreases. Third one is consistency. Docker ensures that the environment that our application runs is consistent across different machines, which make it easier to debug issues and ensure that the application runs as expected. Fourth one is efficiency. Docker containers are lightweight and use fewer resources than traditional virtual machines. This means that application can be run more efficiently and with lower overhead. Last one is security. Docker provides a secure environment for application to run, which helps to protect against attacks and ensure that sensitive data is kept safe. Docker also make it easier to apply security updates and patches to applications. So we talk about what Docker is and its benefits. Now I want to move on to a practical example to help you understand how Docker works. So let us deploy our full stack web application using Docker. So before using Docker, we need to install Docker. So before that, I will quickly show you a diagram to help you to understand how Docker and Docker containers and what are the connection between those. So in here, you can see, think this is our application. So it has our code and all the dependencies. So we are building Docker Docker image using this application. So we can add the Docker file called Docker file to our project. It contains our configuration for running our Docker build our Docker image. So we can build our Docker our application into a Docker image like this. So after creating a Docker image, it holds our code and our dependencies. So by using this Docker image, we can deploy one or multiple containers like this. So this is the whole process, and also we can host our Docker image in Docker Hub. So we can push our Docker image to Docker Hub. Docker Hub is like a GitHub. It hosts our Docker images, and after that we can pull those Docker images into any cloud environment like AWS, DigitalOcean, and Microsoft Azure. So, and after we can run those containers in anywhere. So this is the whole process we are discussing today. So first we build our Docker image and we can deploy it. So now we will see how to install Docker. Here you can see we can search in Google Docker download for Windows. I'm using Windows operating system. So in the first link, we can see Docker official documentation. Here, by using this link, you can download Docker setup. In order to install Docker, you need to satisfy these system requirements. Here you can see we have to have this version of operating system, and we need to enable WSL2 feature on Windows. For in order to do that, you can follow this official Microsoft documentation and this one. And by following this, you can enable WSL2 feature. The link is here. And after that, you need to follow these system requirements. You have to have these system requirements, and you need to enable hardware virtualization in your BIOS settings. And also you need to download and install this Linux kernel update package. You can follow this guide to do that here. So after doing all of this, you can install Docker Desktop for Windows. So it is like any other software. You just need to double click and run and follow the instructions. It is very easy. After installing it, we can search in our start menu by typing Docker Desktop and open it. I will show you. So after installing it, Docker Desktop is like this. This is the GUI, and you can see here the container section and image section. So follow along with me. You need to have Docker Hub account. So I will show you that here. You need to create an account in Docker Hub, and after that you need to log in. This is my Docker Hub account, and you need to log in by using these credentials in our Docker Desktop. Here you can see here in this section you can log in with your Docker Hub account and connect your Docker Hub account to this Docker Desktop. After that, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now let's see how we create a Docker file and build our application. So first, I will build Docker image for our backend application. This is our backend application. We just implemented this. Here you can see these are all the files and .NI environment file. This holds our MongoDB URL. And here you need to create a file called Docker file like this. This is our configuration file for Docker. So we need to write the instructions for build our Docker image. So as you can see, this is a Node.js application. So you need to you need to use a base image for build our Docker image. So we need a Node.js environment. So we need to find Docker image that are already installed in installed Node.js. So you can find it easily on Docker Hub. I will show you. Here you can see, you can search here anything. I will search a node, and you can see in the search result, this is the node official Docker image. Here you can see in the tags section, you can see all the versions of Node and all the some of the famous operating systems, Linux operating systems. So in today we are going to use Node.js 16 version and Alpine operating system. This one. The reason for we are using this, this is Alpine is a very lightweight Linux operating system. So we are run our application. We run. This is perfect for our needs. So our application is very small, and this is very perfect. So we can copy this name and come to our backend code. Here you can specify your base image. For do that, you can type from, and you can paste your base image. This is our base image. This is Node.js 16 Alpine version. After that, you need to run instruction for our build our Docker image. So we can specify a working directory. We can type work var, and we can specify here. In this case, I am using /app. This is our this app as this folder. We use this folder as our working directory. This folder is located at our Docker image. So after that, we need to copy our package.json and package log.json files, because we need to install all the dependencies that are required to run our application. So first we need to copy these two files into our Docker image. For that, we can type a command like this. This command will copy our package.json and package.log.json. Here you can see I'm using a name called package, and after that I'm putting star and .json. This will copy all the files that are that the file name is starting from package and ending with .json. So these two files match this pattern. So this command will copy those two files into our app directory. So we are just using dot here. So we already specify our working directory as /app. So we don't need to do it here. So we can just put dot here. It will copy all our two files into this app directory. After that, we can run. Now we copied our package JSON and package log.json, and we can run npm install here. So this command will install all the dependencies and create node module folder inside our Docker image. So yeah, after that, we need to copy all the source files to our Docker image like this. We can use same copy command. In this case, we are using .10. So this is the starting source location, and this is the destination. So we are in ITP backend folder, so we can just use .10 After that, we can use .for our working directory. So this command will copy all these files into our Docker image. After that, we need to specify a port to run our application. So in this application, you can see here we are using port 3001. So we can expose this port in our Docker image. So if we not specify this port, we cannot access our application outside. So after that, we need to specify a command to run our application. Here you can see it here in our package.json. You can see a start command. So we can put it like this: npm run start. So we need to type this command as it is. So and like an array. So it will when we are building Docker file, Docker image using this Docker file, it will run this command. After run this all the commands, and we can save this file, and we can open a terminal in this location. Be sure to check the file path, and I am in ITP backend folder, and you can type a command to build our Docker image. So this is the command for build our Docker image. So I will explain it. So we can type docker build, and after that we can specify a -t to put a name for our Docker image. This is the name. In this case, I am using hex cran / ITP backend column v1. So this first section is my Docker Hub username. So why I am using this name? Because I hope to upload this image to Docker Hub, my Docker Hub. So I am using this my username as first section, and after that we can specify any name for our Docker image, and after column we can put a tag. We can put anything here. In this case, I am using v1, and after that we can put dot here to indicate our Docker file location. In this case, we are in that directory, and so we just need to put a dot here. And now we can. I will quickly show you our Docker desktop GUI. Here you can see there are no images or no containers. So when we run this command, we can see a new Docker image will create. So now let's run this command, and as you can see, it will run all these commands one by one and build our Docker image. So yeah, it will take some time. So first it will pull Node.js 16 Alpine image from Docker Hub, and after that it will set working directory and copy package.json. After that it will run npm install and copy and expose all our ports and run. When we are this command will run in when we create our Docker container using this image. So I will show you. So now the new Docker image will create it. I will show you. Here you can see a new image is created. So now, but there are no containers yet. Let's see how we will deploy our first container. Here you can use docker run command for this. In the terminal, you can type docker run command like this. This command, and I will explain it. This is the docker run command to create a Docker container, and this p-p means the port that we are using in our container. So here you can see two sections. This section is our container section, and this section is our host machine. So we are exposing our port 3001 in our Docker image, as you can see. So we map that port to our local machine port. So we can put any port here. We have to use port 3001 here, and here we can use any port. And we need to before that I will quickly show you another file we just need to create. It's called docker ignore file. So in our backend folder we need to create a docker ignore file. We are using this file to ignore some folders and files. So here you can see we are running npm install in our Docker image. So we don't need to copy these already pre-built Docker node module for that image. So we can ignore those this folder, and we need to ignore this .tnf file. So we can put those file names in this Docker ignore file. By using this, when we are building our Docker image, it will ignore these files. So I just forget it. So I quickly delete previous Docker image and rebuild it. So we can just enter and run this command. Yeah. So it will create the image again. So you need to do that first, and after that you can run previous command like this docker run command. And before run this command, you need to now our Docker image doesn't know about this environment variable. So you have to put it here. How we do that? So we can specify -e tag, and we can paste our environment variable here. So I'll copy it and paste it here like this. So this is just our environment variable for our MongoDB database. After that, we need to name our Docker container. So we can name it like this. So -- name, and we can put any name here. In this case, I'm using ITP backend as a name. After that, we need to specify a Docker image for create this Docker container. So we can use this name to build our Docker container, run our Docker container. So that's all. And other thing is this -d. We using this -d tag to parameter to run this command as a background task. So it will run this command as a background. So we can press enter. Yeah. It will return a ID for our Docker container. It will create new Docker container. I will show you it. Here you can see in the container section, our Docker container is deployed. So you can visit this localhost port 3001 to access it. So I will show it. Here we can type localhost port 3001, and you can see our backend is successfully deployed in our local environment. So that's how how we run Docker container by using our Docker image. So now let's see how we can upload this Docker image to cloud Docker Hub and deploy it in a cloud environment. Yeah. So in order to do that, we need to push our Docker image to Docker Hub. So we can here we can you can see we already logged in using our Docker Hub account, as you can see. And here in the image section, you can see a button in here. You can press it, and you can see a link called push to hub. By clicking this link, you can upload this Docker image to our Docker Hub account. I will not click this because I already did it. It will take some time because so that's why I already uploaded it. So after upload is completed, you can see it in here in the hub section. You can see that the image that we are uploaded, and I already uploaded our front end too because to save some time. And this is our backend image. So after that, we can visit our in web browser, we can visit our Docker Hub account and see all the containers. Here you can see we uploaded our Docker images successfully. So now we can deploy these Docker images in any environment in like AWS or DigitalOcean server. Today, I will use DigitalOcean server to deploy our web application. So I will show you how to do that. So in here, we are deploying our ITP backend. So here you can click this repository, and you can see in this tag section, you can see the tag that we are specified in our Docker build command. So you can click this v1 and see all the details. Here you can see a command. Here you can see a command to pull this Docker image to anywhere. So I will click and copy this, and I will show you my web server. So this is my DigitalOcean Linux server. So I already installed Docker here. So this is a Ubuntu machine. You may remember I built my image in Windows machine. So this is a different environment. So it doesn't matter. I can just run my Docker image here too. So we can check Docker is successfully installed here. And after that, we can paste that command like this. This will pull our Docker image from our Docker Hub account. So we can press enter. It will pull our Docker image to our DigitalOcean server. After that, we can run this. We can create a container like before. So we can just copy previous command, and I will copy it. Yes, you can paste it in here. So we can just run this, and we can successfully deploy our Docker container in this cloud environment. So I will press enter. Now it's it's done. So we can access it using our VPS IP address. So this is my IP address. So I will copy it, and we can, in our web browser, we can paste our IP address, and we can use our port that we are run our application. In this case, port 3001. If you press enter, you can see it is successfully deployed in our cloud environment. So that's how you successfully build and deploy your web application using Docker. So we just deployed our backend. So I will show you quickly how to deploy front end too. Here, I will show you. So I already wrote the Docker file and Docker ignore file for our front end application. So this is it. It is the same file, and few different. It has few differences. So these all are same, and here you can see the port is different. Obviously, we need to expose another port. So this port is used in our Vue.js application, and this is the command to run our development server. So we can, like previously, we can build our Docker image using this Docker file. So we just need to change our directory to our front end folder, and we can run this command like this, and it will create a Docker. It will create a Docker image using our ITP front end. Yeah, it's done, and we can run a command to deploy a Docker container using this image like this. In here, you can see we are not using any environment variable because we don't have any in our front end. So we are using port 8080 here, and we can use this name, any name, and we can specify a correct image to build our Docker image, run our Docker container. So now we can press enter. It will deploy it this in our local environment. So I'll quickly show you it. Here we can close this, and we can type, sorry, in localhost. The port is 8080, and if you press enter, you can see our web application is successfully deployed. So this is our Vue.js application. So now let's see how we will deploy it in cloud environment. So same as before, it is very easy. In our VPS, we can, yeah, like this. We can paste our Docker run command. So if we run this command, you may remember we when we are deploying our backend application, we first pull our image from Docker Hub. So here we can just run this command, and it will automatically pull our Docker front-end Docker image from Docker Hub. So you can see it when I press enter. So now I press enter. So it will say unable to find this image in locally. So it will pull it automatically from Docker Hub, and it will deploy our application. So this is our Vue.js application. So it will take some time. So we can use this IP address and I will share my Chrome here. You can paste it here, and the port is port 8080. So I will give some time to build our run our Docker container, and I can press enter. Yeah, like this, you can see it is successfully deployed in our cloud environment. So yeah, this is how you deploy your you can deploy any application using this method. So you can deploy it in any environment. Yeah. So that is how you deploy your project. So that's all for today, guys. I hope this explanation has given you a good understanding of what Docker is and how it can be used to improve the development and deployment of your applications. So if you have any further questions and need additional assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And thank you again, and good luck with your ITV project. Yeah, over to you, Savindi.
Thank you so much, Thushara, for that well-explained session. I hope you all learned a lot about the deployment process.